But all right, let's debate and talk. Open Sesame. All right, boy, chosen man. Like, subscribe, enjoy the reaction. If not for nothing, you are trash. I know me, man. The most honest and funniest anime review and reactor out there. Let's see if we agree with his list.
Seasons upon us, and while I've talked about what I feel are the titles people are looking forward to the most, I think I should do a similar list but for the new titles. So if you're one of those people who are new and looking for something to watch this fall, or if you simply want to see what this season has in store for us in terms of new shows, then welcome to the list. Today I'll share what I think are the top 10 titles people seem to be most excited for this season, and I'll be excluding sequels this time around. Berserk of Gluttony opens up the list, and I sure am excited for this one.
Man, we need a Berserk new anime series, bro.
Berserk of Gluttony is one of the series I've seen floating around on the...
That looks a lot like Sword Art Online. Yeah, it looks like SAO. Back in the day for sure, especially the Gun Saga.
The internet for quite some time now. I've always been interested in getting up to speed with it and really anticipate its anime adaptation. Judging from what I've seen in the communities, I'm not the only one. Berserk of Gluttony has all the looks of one of those edgy rise against the world plots like Arifureta, and you know how
Arifureta is trash. Griffith and Guts SAO. That's what it looks like to be, like a weird mix. Arifureta is garbage, by the way, y'all. That CGI and that is garbage.
how much I enjoyed that one. And just like a lot of similar shows, the protagonist Fate Graphite has to deal with a pretty annoying handicap. He's already someone who's at the lowest of the low, and to make matters worse, he gets saddled with a seemingly useless skill, one that makes him constantly hungry. However, killing a thief soon reveals the sinister mechanics behind the skill, the ability to take souls and their respective powers. With this skill, this man who's at the bottom of the food chain may have just found the answer to strike back against the cruel situation that fate has bestowed upon him. Yet the summary pretty much sums up what you should expect. Expect quite a lot of awesome moments starring our protagonist, some much wanted edge, and a pretty good plot, if what people said is to be delivered. I personally can't wait to see how this turns out as an anime.
Reptile said pass. No, Reptile said pass. Flanger, let me know. I'm gonna say, honestly, I like that type of premise. I actually love those type of shows. Rise of the Shield Hero to me is one of my favorites, but season 2 so epically. Arifureta 2 to me had a great couple episodes, and then its soul turned into this weird romance, bad CGI fights, bad story, just turned into this goofiness. It looks all right. It looks like Hope. But like I said, with those type of premises, they usually always sell. Rise of the Shield Hero season 1 did not sell until season 2. But Arifureta definitely sold. So I'm curious to kind of see the balance of darkness in the show and to not go this weird super romance route or this weird convoluted story or just dumbing down the seriousness of it to have like these romantic moments or these joking moments and or bad animation moments. But it reminds me a lot of Sword Art Online visually speaking and probably makes Berserk. So I'm hyped to actually watch this. I have no complaints. This will be my 10 as well so far. Cool idea. Solid idea.
Yeah.
Basically isekai. I don't know if we're sick of isekais yet. You think we'll ever get sick of isekais? I guess every genre has its time, but isekais, man, they're just still doing their thing. I ain't even gonna cap. Like, isekais are doing their thing, yo. I don't think it'll be anything crazy, though. That's fair. Like, I really think, like, if you go, like, I really love Goblin Slayer, by the way. So, like, I think if you go, I really like dark shows. So, I'm like, if you do that very well, get the darkness of the show smooth and have that balance and maintain the fights, I think that's a really, really good anime. Good anime. Like, I remember the Strongest Assassin isekai anime. Like, that was good to me.
Then move on to the world of Korean manhwa with the returners Magic Should Be Special. With Korean titles getting more and more traction these days, possibly headlined by the hype of Solo Leveling, I'm not
Solo Leveling and Tower of God needs to come back.
Surprised we're getting more adaptations from them. One of the comparatively less heralded but just as exciting titles is coming this next season.
Oh, Flame just said even the superhero genre is getting kind of phased out. What would come after? I think what we're seeing is people are really trying to bring back magic anime. I don't know if isekais are still in magic anime, so like what would come after the isekai genre? You know what's crazy? What I think they're low key like there might be a genre that may come back is the once Attack on Titan is done is like the gore like horror type anime. I think that might make a return. The gore like horror style anime, I think that anime might make a big return. You know, Attack on Titan is very gory. Like I think the gore horror type anime, I think if it's done well, could make a very big comeback. And I think that type of genre of anime can make a. Cause I kind of see Promise Neverland reminds me of like a mystery horror gore type thriller. That thriller horror genre of anime. I can see that type coming back. I can see that one making a big comeback because people are so sick of like the lightness of these bright shows and happy go lucky and it's girls and it's comedy. It's like, yeah, but we like darkness, and I think that's what makes JJK is a shonen anime, but it's very dark. You know, Demon Slayer people dialogue. So I think that type of thriller, horror, mystery, that genre could make a really big comeback in the next couple of years to me if done well. And I also think that they're trying to, even though there still be isekais, I really believe that the anime community is trying to get and take over magic. Magic animes, because we've been seeing those pop up a little bit more lately, and I was like, they just can't really hone that genre. And it seems like they're trying to bring it back and it's not going very well. Obviously, Black Clover is about magic, but it's like this weird different section. I think they're trying to bring back a magic anime, and it's just not working. They just said I want the horror genre to come back. They got a new Fate series coming. Oh, that's interesting.
And it's A Returner's magic should be special. It tells of a world ravaged by war between magicians and labyrinth beasts. When it took an entire party of elite adventurers to defeat the first dragon, things already looked dire enough. But things quickly go from bad to worse in the aftermath.
That dragon animation looks trash.
Just when all hope seems lost for the last magician Desir Herman, he gets sent back in time, back to when he spent his days studying in the Magic Academy Hebrion. Aiming to use his second chance wisely, he looks to fix the mistakes of the past and save his comrades, ultimately seeking to pull everyone out of the awful fate that awaits them. Time travel stories like this have often captivated a lot of the anime viewing audience, and I'm positive this one's not going to be any different. I really wonder how well the plot works when you give it a backdrop of the world of magic, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of cool fights ahead.
That actually does look good. I literally ReZero. Damn, that is kind of ReZero. I guess he just won't get multiple chances to do it. If you're gonna be the similar of someone else's plot, right, which is go back in time, change things, ReZero, Tokyo Revengers, you have to maintain, and just off of the seeming of the show, you have to maintain a sort of darkness about this show of bad things happening. And I don't know if it's able to do that. Just off of just seeing the trailer, it looks like I won't let tragedy repeat itself. Just off of that, seems like it might be one of those kind of goody two shoes anime where bad things don't really happen, like PG. You know what I'm saying? Keep it PG-13. ReZero is very dark. Okay, I'm not a fan of ReZero because it just got to a point where I was like, this is just depressing, and I feel bad for bro. But it has to be that level of darkness and bad things happening with Tokyo Revengers as well. Tokyo Revengers, bad things kept happening, right? Like that's what made Tokyo Revengers season 1 good. You have to maintain a sense of darkness in the show. And just off the trailer, I don't know if this show's going to be that dark for it to be that big of a hit. When you talk about go back in time, solid idea, but solid copycat idea. But is it gonna be cheesy? Are you gonna be dark? I don't know, man. I just don't know. And does he get this extra special power? So this is interesting. It's interesting because especially because there's another show that's coming out, I believe, that's doing the aftermath of fighting like the legendary Demon King and like how that's gonna be. So to see that somebody's going back in time, basically leading up to the event of finding the legendary dragon or whatever Demon King is gonna be interesting. If just said I put the other anime over this one, I agree. I'll put 10 over this 9 for me. This 9 is not. I'll choose number
10. 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You is up next.
どうか恋の神様仏様高校でこそは彼女ができて幸せな学園生活が送れますように
大丈夫じゃ
Say that.
I ain't gonna lie, that actually got me to laugh.
5 reallys, and that's a mouthful of a title. And it's really fitting for what a wild show this one is. Fresh middle school graduate Rentaro manages to confess to the girl he loves. Unfortunately though, he gets rejected, marking his 100th failure. Undeterred, he then goes to a shrine and prays for a girl.
Yo, like, obviously these writers, like, yo, did we all get curved hella hard in middle school? In high school? Like, yo, because, yo, man, like, we almost got
should
stupid.
Be careful what we wish for, because naturally, things go awfully wrong. Sure, he gets confessed to immediately, and apparently 100 soulmates await, all to make up for the 100 rejections, funnily enough, but that wish of his comes with a catch. If any one of the girls gets into a relationship with him, she dies.
Hey, yo.
No ifs, no buts. Now, with 100 soulmates ready and waiting, it's the ultimate test for Rentaro on how he'll juggle these relationships. Is the time ripe for one of the insane harem rom-coms in modern anime? We're gonna find out when fall season hits. Up next.
Y'all know me. I'm not big in the romance genre. That actually looks smooth. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That would actually look smooth. I might have to check that one out. Had this girl used to jump on my face at lunch, then her boyfriend went Dorfers and tried to beat me up. He got his boys to wait for me outside. I remember you telling me that, Reptile. Yo, bro, high school and middle school was a dangerous time. I guess like you either got curved or you Reptile had fights with Dorfers and people. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting the mighty. Not even gonna say anything. Not even gonna say anything. They need to worry about roller coasters before fighting you. But yeah, no, that's insane. That's insane. I guess we all like had to deal with a lot of different things, but that anime actually looks solid, y'all. And I'm not huge on that art. Like, that art looks. Reptiles, right? The art looks pretty good. Leipster, Strike Leipster. That's wow. That anime looked good. I'm down to check that out, and no, that actually looks like a pretty solid anime.
Next we have Deranged Detective. With a title like that, you'd expect one of two things. A serious mystery show featuring detectives, or where things go over the top and turns into a comedy. This one falls squarely in the latter, and it's one of the really fun series I've had the pleasure of reading. Who knew that a gag series would work so well with the mystery detective setup? Sure, you get the mystery solving aspects, but when the series stars a dysfunctional duo of an overly eager officer and an eccentric veteran who looks nothing like the part and seems to want nothing to do with detective work, entertaining things happen. But who knows, maybe the upstart Dotomaru may be the key to Ron returning to his glory days as an ace detective. With this series, I can't promise a deep plot, nor can I vouch for anything as compelling in terms of mysteries that the actual mystery show can offer. However, what the show can give you is a lot of fun. There's a lot of quirkiness to the characters as they go about solving cases, and they do a great job helping the comedic aspects of the show. Watch out for this one if you're up for some unwinding this fall. Right at number 6.
With gag shows, I'm like, if you're gonna be a gag show, like being a gag show, like the best gag shows are shows that are like rooted in a genre that is so popular and been so successful, which is One Punch Man, which is probably the most successful gag show of all time besides Gintama, which had its own comedy. but One Punch Man is the most recent new show of success that was gag. And it made fun of superheroes, i.e., comic book superheroes, in the overpowered shonen Dragon Ball Z type fights. So that's a hit of a gag, right? Mob Psycho, little bit of the same. Making fun of these overpowered guys. One Punch Man did it the best though. And obviously Mastery was made in the image of Mob Psycho and One Punch Man, and it was smooth. It had its funny moments, but that's still rooted in like the magic isekai overpowered, superpowered genre. So being a gag of a detective genre, which is one thing that I actually think the detective genre is a very slept on genre in anime. I think they need to go back to it more. I'm cool with them going back to police animes, mafia animes, and detective animes. Like I'm police detective, mafia. Like I want there to be more anime like that. I think that anime would be good. Military. I watched Joker Game. If you guys haven't seen Joker Game, highly recommend Joker Game. Flanger has a good point. You're either gonna hit or you're not gonna hit. I don't know about a gag for detective anime when there hasn't been that too many. So I don't know if people want to see a gag of that type of anime. And if you're gonna be like, what I'm saying, like everyone knows Case Closed and Kodachi Case Files, but those aren't really like those are so old in time and those aren't up to date. So, 91 Days was fire too. 91 Days was fire too. 91 Days was amazing show. But that's what I'm saying. Like that genre isn't very super popular, isn't like super mainstream. So I just shocked that you would do a gag about that anime. But hey, who knows?
This is Ragnar Crimson.
だったら俺にくれよ俺には今強さがいるんだ
If you're up for something more familiar, more traditional, then maybe Ragnar Crimson might tickle your fancy. It's a pretty tight fantasy adventure we've got here, harkening to the days of the good old medieval RPGs, where two individuals team up to take on the dragons that rule the land. Ragnar and Crimson may be as uneasy as allies can be, but one goal binds the duo together, destroying the Dragon Lords and freeing the post-apocalyptic world from their rule. Set in a world that feels oddly familiar, yet has an air of mystery to it, Ragnar Crimson is one of my top recommendations for people looking for a thrilling adventure this fall. Sure, the premise may not seem that special at first, but there are some twists, especially with Ragnar, that ultimately shake things up drastically down the line. Things can get really unpredictable for sure. As daring dragon hunter teams up with a possibly straight up loose cannon in Crimson, there's a lot of combustible elements at play here.
行こうクリムゾン
I seen him talk about this in the last one. A lot of hope. I have no problem with it. Just kind of, that fantasy genre, man. I always tell people, when you go into that fantasy genre, and you try to be different, and you try to be new, and you want to be, a lot of these animes want to be mainstream, want to have a huge hit, you have to have something different about you. That's the bottom line. And the animes that come to mind that did it differently, Rise of the Shield Hero. Also, Goblin Slayer. Broke the internet, the first episodes. That's why they even got to the mainstream. Ragnar Crimson, hey man, you look like a solid anime. You really do. Could be, reminds me of Grand Crest Senkai, if anybody watched that one. Hope I'm saying it right. You have to be unique, man. And that is kind of the big part. The show looks smooth, looks solid. Doesn't look great, doesn't look terrible. It might surprise me. But if you want to be like this huge hit, you need to do something unique and different for the viewers to be like, oh, this is it. Especially if you're going to go the generic fantasy genre of dragons.
Next we have Shangri-La Frontier. If you ever felt like you never got tired of gaming, even being the worst games imaginable, you'd likely hit up pretty well with Rakuro, the protagonist of Shangri-La Frontier. I mean, this is a guy who's made it his life goal, his mission statement, to find every awful game under the sun and beat them. Glitchy messes and everything? Not a problem. However, things change when he suffers burnout before getting introduced to Shangri-La Frontier, supposedly the best and most awesome VR game in town. Will the skills he accumulated from mastering bottom-of-the-barrel games come in handy as he takes this plunge and uncovers the secrets of this new game? We'll have to wait till fall to find out, but this is already looking mighty promising for a video game show. The premise is already pretty nice, and it's one of the video game shows that places some emphasis on strategy and teamwork. The source material has gone pretty detailed with the actual game mechanics aspect, and I expect this approach to catch gamers' attention in anime form too.
Shangri-La Frontier!
Reptile says sleep. I think I might check it out. That's one of those, like, you check out when the season's done. Like, you binge watch it when the season's done. Once again, Reptile said, I'm just so burnt. That's what I'm saying. If you go this route with these type of shows, we're getting flooded with basically the same story. Especially, I remember during the summer, that one Sorcerer, Ice Sorcerer, that was literally a copy. That was literally a copy of another show that didn't even work out that well. Which was insane to me. Like, literally word for word, they took the same story. Like, you have to, like I said, I'm judging it about it being hits. Not just being solid anime that we're like, oh, it's underrated. If you ever want to check it out, you want to be a hit, getting large attention, which is a lot of these anime need, is large attention. You need something different. Even the Demon King Reincarnated in high school, that one, the Isekai, in season 2, season 3, been terrible. When it first came out, it was so unique and different because bro was just so overpowered. He was so cool. Like, that was a hit. Like, not gonna lie, that was a hit show. Even with its generic reincarnation premise, like, it was a hit show because of what it was about. That, like, you need to knock it out the park the first couple episodes. I'm trying to tell people.
Undead Unluck is at rank 4.
Undead Unluck?
Some people just have an affinity with being unlucky. Like Fuko Izumo. After her favourite manga ended, there just seems to be no point in keeping life going. Nothing good comes out from her after all, especially with what seems like a curse that brings misfortune to people around her.
Bring your trade to Team Mazda.
I've seen this anime be hyped up, so I think there is a lot of hype before it. The animation looks very good. It reminds me of My Hero Academia animation.
With Andy, an immortal man who also wishes for death. Together, the two of them team up, all with the goal of giving Andy the best death possible. A task easier said than done, especially when you factor in a shady organization that's taken an interest in the duo. A unique series that's making some headways in Shonen Jump, Undead Unlock's due for an anime adaptation. As expected from a lot of the pioneers from the magazine, Undead Unlock dazzles audiences with creative powers, an ample dash of fan service, characters with presence, and an immersive adventure for us to follow, despite the supposedly dark premise. Mark your calendars, Undead Unlock drops this October.
The Flames just said it's going to be a big anime. Apparently, this actually looks heat. Does look good. I'm curious about it. Reminds me of My Hero Academia animation. I'm not to check it out. Like I said, I like dark shows, and I think this dark, like I said, this dark, gory thriller, like, I think that is taking over the anime community and being popular, even though it's shonen. Like, we're getting darker shonen anime, very darker tone shonen anime because of the goody two shoes that we were. There was a time where anime was trying to be goody two shoes and PG, and it just was like, yeah, no, that's not it. And I remember Dragon Ball Super was one of those, and I remember Boruto was one of those that was heavily pushing like this generic PG, happy-go-lucky, every good thing happens narrative, and I saw anime community and other anime shows that took off, went against that, and it was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So I think the gore, thriller, horror type dark shows are really going to come alive.
Third place is The Apothecary Diaries.
Drama mystery. I'm telling y'all.
これ毒です
If there's one thing that makes me happy doing these supplementary lists to my seasonal previews, it's the fact that it gives me a second chance to look at the roster as we get closer to the season and pick out really promising shows like this one. Apothecary Diaries is a drama set in ancient China, and it revolves around 17-year-old Mao Mao. Kidnapped at a young age and forced to work as a servant in a palace, she catches the attention of Jinshi, a eunuch who sees her for what she is, a girl with a talent for medicine owing to her experiences in her youth. Thus begins her new journey as she utilizes her talents in solving medical mysteries within the Emperor's court. It's been a while since we've had one of these kinds of shows, done in a similar vein with Yona of the Dawn or Snow White with red hair. These shows always end up being pleasant surprises, some good watches if you're one who prefers slow builds and character drama, plus some beautiful aesthetics. This could be the niche hit of the season for fans of genres that don't typically become mainstream. And if you're up for slow burns that have strong
Looks smooth, I'm cool off of it.
aesthetics and themes,
Reptile said, I'm intrigued. You know, the visuals are crazy, but aside, the visuals do look crazy. Not gonna lie, I'm cool off of it. But that's just my like personal thing. I'm gonna need a dub if it's slow. Nah, that girl one being slow paced is kind of crazy. I thought he was gonna be like it's kind of like fast.
you're in for a treat with Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Far too often, we're concerned with the journey, the grand adventure to defeat the Demon Lord, to claim the Holy Grail and whatnot. But what happens when it's all over? What happens when you go on your separate ways as peace gets restored to the land? Add to that the fact that you're going to long outlive your friends, and you can see where I'm going, right? That's the gist of Frieren Beyond Journey's End, where the elf Frieren is left alone outliving all of her companions, finding comfort in a new journey with a human apprentice named Fern. A journey that will take them through the various places that made up much of Frieren's past. I've seen this title compared a lot with To Your Eternity, and it's easy to see why.
I didn't even like To Your Eternity. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fan. As y'all know me, I'm not a huge fan of I'm not a huge fan of a weak main character and one that doesn't have like real backbone. So that's why I didn't really like To Your Eternity. Thought a couple times he was just still being manipulated, even though. Yeah, no, I wasn't a fan. Wasn't a fan, bro. Flameser is on my head as we speak. Like I said in my stream, we all debate. No, I wasn't a fan of To Your Eternity. I don't like anime where the main character is like this weak dude and doesn't really think for himself at all. And I got to the point where he got to the new island, the jail island, and he still was just being manipulated by the girl and wasn't using his powers in his own way. And I just don't care enough to grind out to when you start being you. And I don't like stuff like that. Like I said, I don't like weak main characters. Personally, I'm all down for growth. I'll deal with weak but confident but growing, but I just don't like weak main characters. But just said shaking my. Hey, bro, that's my reason, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, I like Attack on Titan. Yes, I like Eren. Yes, I've seen Eren's growth. Yes, I like Midoriya. I see Midoriya's growth. Yes, I've seen. That's why I don't like Tokyo Revengers. I'm sick of bro being a weak dude. I'm not a fan of main characters that don't think for themselves or are very weak. So, in my discussion of weak, so that's why I don't like a lot of anime where like a main character is like very weak and soft. Not a fan of it. I don't find that as charismatic, and I don't care about that story. It's just how I am. It's just kind of the culture, I believe. You know. So yes, that is why, guys, I don't like To Your Eternity. Great visuals, great story. It's not for me because I don't like a main character to be that weak, whether mind or strength. Like I said, I get it. You can grow and be confident in that, and you'll have days that you waver, but yeah, don't like people like that.
Overall vibes feel the same, and Frieren deals with the idea of a long-living being finding out that there really is more to learn about the world and its inhabitants. The show is visually pleasing, and it promises to be a thematically strong journey full of emotional ups and downs.
Looks a lot. It looks visually like Jobless Reincarnation.
じゃあまたね。私はもっと人間を知ろうと思う。
We close the list out.
I'm cool. I'm cool off that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm cool off that personally. Unless the pacing is better, because I saw people in the comments were on me last time, and I was like, "Well, is the pace gonna be good?" And they're like, "No, the pacing is actually good." And if the pacing is slow, like Jobless Reincarnation, I will not be giving it a try. Not gonna lie to y'all, I'm not sitting down for slow pacing. The new season of Jobless Reincarnation is good. It's just very slow. Once again, it's a very slow pace. Yeah. The new season of Jobless Reincarnation is very slow. We're at episode 10 and basically nothing's really happened. That's the only problem with Jobless Reincarnation. It has a very slow pace. Very appeasing. Reminds me more of very similar to Vinland Saga Season 2's pace, I would say. I think it's even slower than Vinland Saga, kind of, Season 2. It's just a very slow pace. Jobless Reincarnation's already been. Peace out, Reptile. You're at the end of the video anyway. You chilling.
Out with a classic, Pluto.
Yo, we got killed for this, y'all.
Unlike the long sentences that make up a lot of modern anime's titles, there's not much you can infer from the title Pluto, besides the fact that it's a sci-fi series maybe. But man, it's one of the best ones you can have amongst the classics, being a sister story to the legendary Astro Boy. It tells of the death of the legendary robot Mont Blanc, the single flashpoint that sets esteemed detective Gesicht into action. It's this investigation that puts him in position to encounter the entity Pluto and a conspiracy to wreck human-robot coexistence. Robots who participated in the Great Asian War are in danger, and Gesicht must put his wits and skills to their
They couldn't let bro look no type of cooler. Oh yeah, Flames, we got killed for this, by the way. BU Reptile, we got killed for this. First of all, they couldn't make the main character cooler. I'm sorry, bro. Like, y'all could have made him look visually cooler. This nigga damn near had a receding hairline with blonde hair.
limits in order to save the fragile world order before time runs out on him. One of the classics in the world of sci-fi anime, Pluto is a thrill ride that you're not gonna want to miss. It's got very strong writing as a manga, and I'm excited to see how well the strong themes and scenes present themselves in anime form. Anime watchers will finally get to experience one of Urasawa's best series, and considering how acclaimed titles like Monster are, we can definitely all get hyped for this one.
さっきの人わからなかった
They about to cook you. Hold on, bro. He could have looked way more cooler. And for the people that killed me last video, I stand by what I said. This show is not more anticipated than Attack on Titan. And all I was saying, for the 30th, 40th, 50th time is Attack on Titan is way more anticipated than Pluto. And at the height of what this writer is known for, which is Monster, Monster is still nowhere near as known as Attack on Titan. So if his best work from what he's known for, which is Monster, is not even as known as Attack on Titan is, how the hell can his new show that most people don't even know about be more anticipated than Attack on Titan's final season? And I only got mad because I said if you want to give an unbiased ranking of anime, the most anticipated anime, just say this is my personal recommendation. Don't give a list. I only got mad because it's a list. And he clearly is biased in the list by saying that that's the most anticipated. It doesn't make sense, literally. Yo, talk about it, bro. I just don't like, bro. Like, if you gonna give a biased list, just say, yeah, no, this is my personal number one. You gotta start off with this is my personal number one. Even though we know Attack on Titan isn't the real most anticipated, this is my personal number one. If he has with a disclaimer, I have no problem. But if you give a 10, and I'm like, that obviously doesn't make sense at all. So that's why we were hot. That's why we went through it, because I had never heard of Pluto. But you know what the casual anime fan has heard of? Attack on Titan. But shout out Monster. I love Monster anime. It looks fascinating. I'm just, like I said, I think they could have made the main character look cooler. Like, people are gonna be like, what do you mean the main character has to look cool, bro? My nigga. Even in Monster, him being disheveled but having long hair, he still looked interesting. He still looked cool. This guy damn near has a receding hairline. How does the main character have a receding hairline? That's insane to me. But I will check this anime out. I do like the monster anime, the monster genre. Um, and we were talking about like the detective genre. I think it slept on. The police detective mystery genre. I think is one that could be dived into and dealt with. The military, police, even mafia. Like I shout out Gangsta, shout out 91 Days, shout out Joker Game, German God for all the people that have ever seen that anime. I think there's a lot of genres that haven't been tapped into because people are so focused on just getting these hit isekais. Drifters is fire, by the way. Drifters is more back in time, action. But fire anime made by the same people that I believe did the others. So yeah, no, like there's a lot of fire anime out there that I think don't get the praise that it's deserved. And yeah, I just recommend you guys go check those out. But top 10 most anticipated new anime. I just say I disagree with this list, but a lot of these I cool with. I'm down with. Me personally, I would say I agree with his number one. I'm probably gonna check out my number two, honestly, would be the Undead Unlock. I really think that one looks fire. That one looks very fire. I'm surprised it was lower than the isekais, but it being shown to me is probably gonna be more popular than others, so I get it. And I know a lot of core anime fans are upset with the shonen genre because it's the most popular, but that is what it is. So I would go. If I had to rank mine, actually, this probably is my one. So I would go Undead. Undead Unlock probably number one. Number two probably is Detective, and then I'm probably gonna check out the first one, the Berserk Gluttony one, which looks pretty cool to me. The 100 one looks actually solid. And yeah. And I want to make a quick thing before we go about the detective agency one. Like, if you're gonna go this cheesy route where it's over the top, like, just don't be like Ace Attorney. Okay, don't be like Ace Attorney. Please don't be like Ace Attorney. I'm not a fan of Ace Attorney. I tried to watch it, but because it was so over the top and goofy, to me it ruined the show. But I know a lot of people still like Ace Attorney, but I hope it doesn't end up like Ace Attorney. Yeah. Oh, what we got last year? Last fall? Last fall was crazy. Last fall was like probably the greatest fall season I think I've seen, because that was when Bleach came back. We had Blue Lock. We had I think Mob Psycho was ending. We had Bleach, Blue Lock, Mob Psycho. I feel like we had something else too. Shadow, the Shadow Organization one. That would turn out to be a very great show. There was like last fall season was crazy. Did Demon Slayer come out on that time, bro? There was just some there was so many hits. No, Chainsaw Man came out in the fall, not Demon Slayer. Chainsaw Man came out. There was just a lot of hits. Chainsaw Man, Bleach, Blue Lock, the Shadow Organization one, Isekai, that was fire. Just off the top of my head, like that was one of the greatest fall seasons ever. We don't got that, but we do not have that at all. But yeah, no, I think it'll be a smooth season, nothing crazy. But it is what it is, man. It's your boy Chosen. How do y'all feel about the most anticipated anime of fall 23? I think this one's pretty regular. Like my guy Flanger said, he also recommends Aka 13 Territory Inspection Department. But yeah, this is a pretty generic one. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. How do y'all feel? Y'all excited for the season? Where do y'all rank it compared to last year? 2022 fall was crazy. So hope we got some solid ones, man. What anime y'all most excited for, man? Let me know. It's your boy Chosen. I'm most excited for Undead Unlock. It's your boy Chosen though. Like, subscribe. Most honest anime dude out here. I'm out.